The Po' Boy Pundits podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery Media presents Po' Boy Pundits with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the political headlines that grab our attention and all those little jerks that infuriate us.
Or we have a skeleton crew, because technically he can't get rid of that, right? So we just sent that back to the States?
No, I mean, I think he's going to petition Congress to...
Get rid of it?
Yeah, pass a law to
I just wanted to throw that out there at the beginning here. And then he's got a third of the country saying that that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah,
we were stupid before. Maybe it wasn't working.
Well, they're not going to like it when those families that depend on schools to feed their children don't get fed. But, I mean, even sitting across from you, I mean, eventually a lot of the SPED services are funded by federal dollars. So,
but SPED's going to wherever he's sending it now. Student loans are going to SBA, which should work out perfect.
Yeah.
That's Health and Human Services Department or something along those lines is where.
No, but I mean, like, you know, like the services your daughter gets at school.
Yeah.
Like, eventually, if they do what they're talking about, like, I mean,
that goes away.
Yeah, those will just be cut, and then so that means, you know, any student with a learning disability is automatically,
or anyone that just has an IEP.
Correct. Yeah. Their grades are going to go down.
Yep.
Which of course then decreases their chance of progressing further in education.
Correct. So. And it fucks the school as well because it's bringing those scores down. Not that anybody gives a shit.
Yeah. But oddly enough, it's nobody's mentioning get rid of testing for some reason. But,
oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, let's cut funding, but let's keep all the tests in place. But I'm not going to get on that fucking high horse. That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to throw that out there
because that's one of the things that, 60 plus injunctions is what I'll call them. Basically, he's being sued by everyone on the planet in the United States for all this stupid shit he's trying to do.
Yeah, and that's only going to increase when families really start understanding. Again, CRT, that's a state level thing.
Yeah.
Whatever, but those essentials that keep your children happy at school.
Right.
Most of that funding comes from the federal government. That's what they do, and making sure, also too, if you have a handicap or a child with a physical disability,
yes,
they may not be able to physically attend their school because there's nothing requiring ramps, elevators, and
OSHA's going to go away too.
Well, because that's DEI.
So does Tim Abbott in Texas?
Well, yeah, he voted
against his own.
Well, yeah, he tried to get the State House in Austin to vote for eliminating DEI, being like, dude, you are where you're at.
I would love
because of
if
DEI.
they'd have passed that, somebody to come in there with a jackhammer and jackhammer away every wheelchair accessible to that building.
Just turn off the elevators.
Go fuck yourself.
Right. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
There's never mind. I'm not going to go into original The Office where there's an episode where they're trying to carry a guy down the stairs in a wheelchair.
I thought you meant Stanley when they tranquilized him and then put a helmet on him and
pushed him down. No, this was like a fire or something.
Oh yeah, from the first season. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. See, wow, that brought it back. So here's the thing: you've got all of this shit for all these different things, and he's already asked the Supreme Court to get involved with the deportation because apparently that's his most important thing.
Yeah.
Even though he flew out people while the injunction was in place, we talked about that last week. I don't understand at what point he is straight breaking the law, and 1/3 of this country and 100% of the government are these fascist judges.
Yeah, I mean, it's already getting there. I mean, when you have the lower and mid courts stopping like the like the USAID firings.
Correct.
Several other
the
departments.
Probationary employees that they fired for no reason.
Yeah, and go and like you can't do that. They have to go back to work. Which
right.
Like that's when I feel bad for like somebody like my brother who has to handle or his team has to handle unemployment claims and be like, well, are they working or are they not?
Right.
Like, somebody come on. Like,
and then the stock market did the same thing. They went, what are we fucking doing here?
But I mean, even too, like on a local level, and I mean, I'll say because I doubt he will ever ever listens to us. But my landlord was talking about like he would have had the new apartment already remodeled, but his team, which he said were Mexicans, but he was like they're all documented, but they don't want to come here, meaning to New Orleans, because they're scared of ICE. Even though he said they're legal and these are really great workers, and you're going like so that's,
they deported.
That would have been several $1,000s in a remodel that's just now going to waste because the crew he would hire is not willing to be here.
They deported a gay barber and put him in jail down there in Venezuela or wherever.
Yeah.
Apparently they're paying us now, or we're paying them to send people there. It seems a little slavey, if you ask me.
Well, and that we're
trafficking.
We're now making agreements with the president of Venezuela, who is a
Nazi,
a
just
dictator,
say it, a fascist.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Like a handshake deal. We'll send you humans.
Yeah.
You can beat them. You can put them to work. I don't care what you do.
Which, of course, now negates, like, if he commits human rights violations, and you go, like, well, we made a deal.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I mean, that's what they do anyways.
Right. What happened?
What do you mean? Everything was like, so...
So it'd also be why our global standing is just dropping and dropping and dropping.
Is there like, they do polls for polling for everything. Is there a poll that shows what the United States looks like on a global level now?
Yeah, I haven't checked it in a while, but
neither have I.
Because it nearly bottomed out under Trump's first term,
right,
and then Biden got it back
a little bit.
Yeah, and then I would just assume it's going back down. I mean, because I'm seeing articles on like the AP of like, if you travel abroad, be ready to talk about Trump.
Yes.
With foreigners or with in whichever country you're going into.
Yeah.
And you go like which of course I remember.
There is a travel warning.
Yeah.
Into the United States. Like, we are literally a third world country. Like, don't go there. They're in war, blah, blah, like...
Which was like, I mean, when we were much younger under George W. Bush, remember there was that thing of, people would sew a Canadian patch on their backpack.
Yes.
Just so that they wouldn't have to explain to people that they were an American and whether or not you support the Iraq War.
Oh, I remember those days.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That was in high school.
But so I mean, like that in itself was like okay, like I mean, I didn't agree with the war, but whatever. Like I get that now. It's like it's just because one individual is running their mouth, and the rest of the world is like, what the fuck is wrong with you all?
The echo chamber is real.
Yeah.
Very, very real.
But I mean, imagine having to go to Italy, and they're like, "What's y'all's fucking deal?" Being like, "Hold on."
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, where's Italy in all this? Because France is basically going, if you do anything, we are coming for you.
Yeah.
That you don't want that.
What Canada's doing that.
And they've got them. Like, when Europe is like, all right, guys, like, they don't exist anymore. Let's do our thing together. Something bad.
I just like it now that, I'm finding out... at first it was like, that's an interesting catchphrase for Canada, but now I've gotten the full explanation and like the whole country doing elbows up and being like, oh shit, they're using hockey terminology now.
Oh yeah.
Like in Gordie Howe.
Yeah. Like, elbows up.
Shit.
Elbows up.
Like, Damn, that's a good slogan.
Elbows up, motherfucker. I bet it looks fantastic. Like, all you need is 2 arms on a t-shirt. Yeah. You don't need the body or anything.
Or just one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, elbows up.
Yeah.
Ooh, sideways.
Yeah,
that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
With a tattoo that says elbow.
Canada, call us. Yeah. Your marketing team needs to call us.
I'm sure they already have it.
If they don't, then Canada's missing.
Yeah, they got Mike Myers doing elbows up promos.
So, I texted you this earlier. I don't know how much time it is. I don't give a fuck.
That's a good question.
Like, if Trump wants to invade Canada.
You got 4 minutes.
What does... Because, a court can't go, but Congress has to okay that. But Trump can send, just for shit's sake, 2,000 people up there.
Yeah, that'd be a very bad idea.
Because that would be an act of war.
Correct, yeah.
If you just send troops, no matter how many.
Yeah,
to another country.
That's what happens in civilization. If you move your army...
Yeah, exactly.
In one hexagon in. Do you wish to declare war?
No.
And if you say no, you're back out. So.
Yes, exactly. Anybody, right. God damn, I need to get that game at Assassin's Creed. No.
Yeah, I got to pay off my trip first. I
got to pay off for this.
Yeah, it would be, that would be in clear violation of multiple treaties and agreements that we have with Canada.
So then we wouldn't be able to sue him for doing that, right? Just another lawsuit because they are just pounding away.
No, Canada could sue him in the World Court at The Hague.
Okay.
Also, Canada could also bring suit against him in their own court system.
Right.
But then that means if he's found guilty, then that means Interpol is gonna try and hunt. Which of course it wouldn't be hard to find the man. But
fuck no, he said a Mar-a-Lago.
That's you. To be successful, you would need the backing of Congress, and
right.
I would say normally, there's no way that you would get that support. But then you've also seen the great madam of South Carolina pivot in a week on Ukraine. So
plus you need, I don't know, the House and Senate are fighting each other already, even with Chuck Schumer out there bending over backwards,
right.
Bending over forwards, and taking it in the ass.
Which, that's what doesn't make any sense about that CR, which is, okay, you completely acquiesce to everything.
Right.
And then now it's like, well, it didn't improve anything. You're still being blamed for everything else.
Right.
So you might as well just taking a stand, force them into a cloture vote so that they, would figure out how to get 51 votes. But
I don't know. I hope Congress can check Trump, but it doesn't seem like they give a fuck. And the Republicans, Mike Johnson, doesn't give a shit.
No, even with all these town halls and shit, the GOP's not really taking it seriously, and I think know
why? Because they're just Democratic plants.
Yeah, well,
that's all.
Yeah, that's an easy explain away, even though it's a lie. But at the same time, it's also like Jeffries and Schumer are thinking, this is real, and that's going to get these people out to the polls in 2 years to vote against their incumbent people.
The whole grassroots thing,
and you would
that's worked so well in the past.
But look at Boebert, look at Taylor Greene. These are people who embarrass their constituents day in and day out.
Right.
Yet they are reelected.
Correct.
Or even elected in a brand new district.
Even if just
over
barely,
and over and over
but
again.
Still,
yeah. You can go and
look at Jim
essentially
Jordan.
Have sex in public and people will still vote for you.
You can give hand jobs at a children's play.
Correct. You can be covering up a rape scandal and people are still like, that's my guy. The following segment has been brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. The Po' Boy Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, Produced and edited by Ben Grimion. Marketing by Brock Ryder. Graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion. Music by the Heisenberg Compensators.